So let's start. Tracy's going to record it. Okay. So this image might look really familiar to you. It might have been you in several circumstances. A shout of frustration. It might be because of a process. It might be because of a communication. It might be because something is not working. And this image, believe it or not, is actually something that keeps CHROs, CIOs, and other people in the organization awake at night, or at least gives them something to think about during the day as well. It's all about user experience. Negative user experiences have an impact on employee engagement, have an impact on customer behavior, have an impact on many and lots of things. But how do we actually then turn critics into fans? And that is what I want to talk about today. I actually want to cover Qualtrics, employee experience management, and especially then focusing on IT. But what goes for IT also goes for other elements within the HR space. What is it actually all about? It's all about perception versus reality. And this is what we call the experience gap. We can see the numbers on the left in green, and that is what CHROs, CEOs, and other people in the organization might think about what they are delivering. The reality, and this is how people actually accept it and perceive it, is very much different. And this is something that organizations need to be aware of, that the C-suite needs to be aware of in the organization. What business people in HR need to be aware of when they do certain things. The employee lifecycle, is consisting out of many moments that matter. And within HR, for an employee, they already start when they are a candidate. And they start from the moment that they, for instance, visit your career site. When they are going through your recruitment and onboarding process. When they go through their career with your organization. There's many, many, many touch points there. And all of these touch points, they generate OData, which is organizational data. And that is something that sits in every HRIS system. It's when the employee joins your organization. It's when the employee makes a promotion, gets a salary increase, takes leave of absence. But it also generates lots of experience data. And some of the organizations might already be doing something with this. You might send out an annual or a biannual engagement survey. The problem with those surveys is that it takes quite a long time to process all of this data. And once you then come with your action plan and your insights, etc., a long time just passes. Because you also not have it integrated within your system, that also then makes following up and putting actions toward that difficult as well. So with Qualtrics experience management integrated with SuccessFactors, this is possible. But let's have a look at some of those touch points of an employee. These are all your O items, and these are the feelings that might actually be with the employee or the candidate, how they experience certain things. This is the sentiment that you need to be aware of. Because if there's a negative sentiment, it might actually lead to employees leaving your organization. And that could also mean that the investment, the human capital, the intellectual capital is just walking straight out the door to a competitor. So it's actually time for organizations to think about things differently. That they actually need to listen in a better way to the employees. That they need to understand what the employees are actually saying, and that might be something completely different from what you listen, what you comprehend. And then the true value then sits in the actions that you take. And this is what experience management actually delivers. If we look at experience management, and if we take something really recent, which is the COVID-19 situation, if in the COVID-19 situation, we would have dealt with the situation with knowledge that we had yesterday, when COVID did not exist, things would have been completely different. So it asks of organizations to act in a different way, to really start to think in a different way, because this was a situation that was completely different from what they ever experienced. And we can see that in these times of crisis, organizations become really creative, and they need to become creative. But it also means that they are faced with challenges, and they need to use that creativity to surpass those challenges. The good thing is that you don't have to do that alone. Organizations have lots of people within the organization that can help them with them. You just need to give them an opportunity to raise their voice and come up with the ideas. Qualtrics actually allows you to do that. Yeah? And probably it might actually be when you've heard the word Qualtrics, you go, it's a survey tool. You ask questions and you get an answer. And actually, I have to disappoint you a little bit in that, and actually I have to contradict you a little bit in that as well, because Qualtrics is not a survey tool. Qualtrics is a tool of action, where surveys are only a small part that sit in the listening part, what you have here. Listen at every moment that matters. But surveys can actually be done in different ways, can be delivered in different ways. And a survey is nothing more than actively reaching out to an employee, to a candidate, to a customer, and asking for their input, asking for their feedback. So the predominant word there is active, but you can also, for instance, do text analysis. So you could, for instance, take the information that sits on Glassdoor, or take information from intranet sites, take information from other sources and analyze that. That is also part of the listening. If you run a help desk, you can even do voice analysis and pick up sentiments from that. So these are different ways of listening. So you have the data, you get the information. And in step number 2, what you actually do is then generate the insights out of that information. Qualtrics comes with a really powerful analytics engine, which brings quite a few helpful functionalities there. It allows you to even start to predict. It allows you to benchmark against other organizations. It allows you to run statistics. And those are just a couple of those examples. As said, the true value of Qualtrics compared to other tools, because you say, we use SurveyMonkey, we are able to listen there as well, and we might be able to do some predictions there, or we can use Glint, which is another. Yes, you are able to do certain things there, but the true value with Qualtrics sits in the act, and especially when you've already heard about the term, probably, I would expect that, the intelligent enterprise, where we connect everything, all the lines of businesses within SAP. Acting upon those insights is where the true value sits, and where you can then push the insights and actions that you want to take onto an operational level, where you can then make the difference. When we look at IT and everything that happens in IT, it always touches people. People use the technology that is being delivered. Now, looking through the eyes of a CIO, the CIO has a budget, and he can only spend, or she can only spend this budget once. And we've divided that into 3 pillars. The first pillar is the tech assessment and transformation. The second is new services and IT projects. And the third one is IT support quality. And when you look at the thinking process, or if you consider the thinking process, this is actually, that happens. You first do an assessment, then you execute it, and afterwards you provide support. But let's have a look what sits behind all of those numbers and give you some examples there. So behind number one, yeah, the tech assessment and transformation deals with, for instance, hardware. If you suddenly start to put in lots of new hardware, then you need to take into consideration, okay, is this the hardware that people need? There is a story going around that within a certain organization, at C-level, the information came, okay, the laptops are not doing, they're not powerful enough, and we need to order new laptops. That was all via hearsay. A story went its own way. When they actually started then to investigate where it came from, was a couple of people in the analytics department, the reporting and analytics department, who were in Excel doing really, really heavy formulas and investigatory work, and their laptops just didn't cut it. They had been talking about that in the elevator. Some person heard about that, talked about that, and via, it reached the senior level. So they almost made an investment of a couple of million, giving people all new laptops and better computers, where the source was only a couple of people. Also looking at transformations is, looking at SAP and the way we are going, we want to become the #1 cloud organization. But we still have lots of technologies that we provide to our customers that are still on-premise. So as a customer, you have to make the decision, okay, do I remain on-premise or do I go cloud? In HR, do I remain on SAP HCM on-premise, or do I move into SuccessFactors? There's different reasons why you might want to do something. But fortunately, with SAP, you also have your hybrid solutions, where you can have the best of both worlds. If at the moment you are not ready to make an investment into your core HR, but you do want to make an investment in your talent modules, you can. With the native integration that exists, you can have the best of both worlds. So looking at this, what does Qualtrics EXM for IT bring the CIO if they reach out into the organization? First of all, they get a foundation of information, a justification that they can go to the board with and say, this is what lives in our organization. People are looking for better tools to do their work. We need to invest and we need to investigate. So on the other side, once they go into the new services and IT projects, you have change management. So this is then where you can communicate and respond to the employee needs and use their feedback that you obtained in your communication. As we also seen in the COVID-19 situation, suddenly there was a different way of working. Meetings at the office did not take place anymore because people suddenly had to work from home. Client meetings were not possible anymore because we're not able to move. And we had to find new solutions and new ways of working. Some people chose for Zoom, other people chose for Teams, and other people chose for WebEx or other tools, or a combination of tools. But you can implement those tools, but if you actually ask the employees, what is it that you would look for in a new tool? It might be that they say, okay, we would like to be able to store the information and access the information as well at the same time that we're doing presentations or after the presentations. So based on that information, it might be that some of those tools already fall away and we're not able to use them. In regards to delivering a project, we also want to make sure that we deliver it in the right way. Because most of the, let's say 95% of the IT projects do not fail because of the technology. They fail because they do not meet the success criteria. And the success criteria need to be defined up before. What does this project make a success? So if we have that beforehand, then we can, during a project, constantly refer back to that. Reaching out into the organization, into the different countries, the different business units, asking for their opinions, what is important to them, what do we need to have, gives you the ability to configure the solution in the right way and to take into account their needs. Again, you can use that information then to play back to the audience and say, okay, this is what you've asked for, this is what we delivered. Then it comes to the IT support quality. So you delivered a new piece of technology. It could be a SaaS solution, it could be an own build, a custom build, or it could be something that's come standard out of the box. Let's take this, for example. The request was on the left-hand side, we need an option to choose countries. IT provides you with that option and gives you a drop-down menu. If you need the country Zambia, suddenly you have to scroll all the way down to the bottom, which might not be as user-friendly. Still, it does the job. It does, you've delivered what was requested. But asking for the feedback within the process, you're able to do that. You might get the feedback, okay, great, but would it be possible to also have like a Google type search function or a search function where I can just type the name of the country in and then it pops up? And that is on the right-hand side. So even after you've delivered a functionality, you can still get the input and the feedback from the organization to further enhance the functionalities that you've delivered. Now, all of these three stages enable you as an organization to actually deliver, first of all, what has been questioned, what has been asked for, and secondly, that people who use it actually use it in the right way. If there's a need for documentation, then you need to provide that documentation. Otherwise, you might end up in situations like this when people call the help desk. And obviously, this is really exaggerated on the left-hand side. Meanwhile, at a customer service, your calls are very important, and everybody is just waiting. But what you expect, ringing a help desk or ringing any customer service, is that you are answered in a very short space of time, and that you get the answer to the question you were asking. Also, putting there a feedback loop in provides you with the opportunity to improve the service being delivered, to find out about where processes are getting stuck, or find out where processes might not be clear enough for employees, or where improvements could be made. Further, it could also identify where, for instance, additional training is needed for service people, because these are calls that are being monitored. And it could be that, okay, the person on the phone is really helpful, but not as knowledgeable. From a call center manager perspective, this would then be able to give you the insight, okay, agent number such and such, or this person, is really helpful, but needs additional training on this subject. So in short, the tech assessment and transformation, it really gives you a complete understanding. And you use that data to really find the technologies that improve the employee production. Also, enable the people to do the job that they need to do with the system that you have been providing. But as mentioned, it also gives you the ability to justify the investment that you want to make. To have a basis for that, because you get the feedback, you get the information that you need to bring to the board and say, okay, this is actually what we need. It's not only what we need now, but you can also use that information for future investments and say, okay, this is the way we need to go as an organization. We need to invest in this. From the project IT services, or the new services and IT project, you really want to make sure that the solution that you have acquired, that it's implemented in the right way. That you do a pre and a post assessment. Have we delivered what we set out to deliver? Did we meet those success criteria? And even during the process, and it's a little bit more challenging with cloud solutions, obviously, because there you work in iterations. For instance, for SuccessFactors, you might have 3 iterations, and then you get your UAT. If you then start to question at UAT, it's a little bit late, because this is where you bring it to your end users. They are testing it, and normally speaking, you should already be at 98% of correctness of the solution that you want to deliver. The 2% is only to find out some more bugs and defects and some really small process changes if needed. Yeah, and it might also be that you need to adjust some documentation in that process. Also, for number 3, the IT support quality, this is really to close the loop. Take on the information, make sure that your help desk is effective, that the quality of that is good, because there are certain organizations that also work with service centers. And getting in touch with these service centers is usually not that straightforward. We still have, as humans, we would like to have that interaction. And when we have to work with tickets, okay, we will do it. But also the information which is captured into tickets, that we can analyze as well and give you as an organization really the insight of what needs to be done. And all of this, point 1, 2, and 3, will give you the ability to actually optimize the time that you're spending on it and effectively cost it as well. So there's different tools that that come with Qualtrics for that. There's always the dashboarding. You get the deep insights into what the sentiment is. Being able to follow that on the fly as well. You get the insights, what you can see on the bottom right, about what is actually being said. So this will really help you to get a better understanding of what is actually going on. The surveys that you'll be sending out, if you're sending out surveys, they're very easy to configure. The dashboards give you the real-time insight. And because, just with any other IT solution, you have your role-based permissioning. So you can make it available to who you want it to make available. Example for that is, so a CIO or a CHRO, they get the strategic overview. They get to see what is happening across the organization. And based on that, they will be able to make some decisions. They can also push down actions on an operational level, because this is where the difference is being made. This is, for instance, when, if we look at the normal employee lifecycle, if an employee, for instance, says, okay, there's something I don't see where my career, if there's any career opportunities at this organization for me, there might be several things wrong. It might mean, first of all, it's disturbing from a CHRO or a country HR director level that this occurs in your organization. But it also enables you then to see what you can do about it. Because an employee sits really close to the manager on an operational level, has the ability to make a big impact there. So pushing the actions down on an operational level gives you the ability to make changes, closing that loop and impacting the employee experience. As I mentioned, there's also different ways of providing those surveys to employees and to customers. You can have the in-app feedback. You can do that. For instance, if you go to the career site from SAP, there's a survey that pops up straight away. You can answer that. But you can also deliver it, for instance, with a chatbot. And the chatbot with the natural language processing enables you to have quite a normal conversation, as it appears, with between a technology and an employee. It's also really smart in the way you can set the surveys up. So based on the outcome, you can use keywords in there. You can say, if you use fixed numbers, you can have diversions in the questions. So it means that somebody doesn't have to go through, for instance, 30 or 40 questions, but with 5 or 6 questions, where a couple of them are fixed answers, like from 1 to 10, yeah, but also the open questions where people can just type the information in, yeah, that it might be done with 5 questions, saving valuable time and giving them a good experience as well, and providing you as an organization with the, for instance, the additional details. Would you be the first organization that would be doing this? Yeah, no. An example for that is Honeywell. Yeah, you can say, okay, Honeywell is a huge organization, but IT expenses are being made in every organization. Yeah, obviously this is an example, but even smaller organizations need to make it right. Yeah, they do not have the budgets as, for instance, for Honeywell. So it even counts more that you do the right things, you make the right investments, listen to the people, and act responsibly, yeah, on the feedback that's been provided. Obviously with Honeywell, yeah, it's on a large scale, but even in the smaller organizations, yeah, but what is small nowadays? Yeah, if you have 2,000 employees, are you still a small organization, or are you a large organization? IT expenses have to be made. Employee engagement, employee experiences happen in every organization. And this is something that you need to take into account. Just like customers, employees vote with their feet. If they do not get the feeling that they're being taken serious, or that they have to work with tools which are outdated and not easy to manage, yeah, they will walk to another organization. Because this is what happens. It's not only about salary. It's not only about training. It's everything taken into one big package. With Qualtrics, yeah, with experience management for employees, this is what you can tap into. Getting that sentiment, getting that insight into what is actually living and thinking in your organization. You already know what is happening. That's your operational data. But why things are happening, that is for you to find out. So Qualtrics has been in Forrester named the leader, and you can see there's quite a distance there. There obviously are differences between these products. Yeah. If you look at Qualtrics, yeah, why are they the leader? Because first of all, the breadth and depth of the solutions that they deliver, the way they integrate with other solutions, the way they are getting more and more integrated with the SAP solutions. Also, if we look at employee experience, Glint, for instance, might only deliver Lifecycle, where employee experience for Qualtrics delivers much more, many more different plays that you can implement. So what would you get for XM for IT? So there's different packages available. So you have Qualtrics Employee XM for IT, where you could say, okay, this is the basic one, yeah, but you also have the IT support. There's much more functionality, as you can see, yeah, in there. Many more projects. You have the in-app feedback, website feedback, etc., etc. Communication, chat integration. You can do all of that. I haven't seen any questions in the chat yet, so I would like to open it up. We are 10 past the hour, so we have some time for questions. So please go off mute or put them in the chat if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to answer them.
I always say when there are no questions, it's been a very good presentation.
Or everybody's fallen asleep.
I doubt that. But obviously, if you do have any questions after, you can contact me and I'll put you in contact with Leon and the team. But otherwise, if that's it, thank you very, very much for joining us today. Thank you, Leon, for supporting us and presenting. Thank you.
With pleasure.
So we're going to take the silence as that we can say goodbye and log off. Oh, wait, there's, oh, thank you. Very interesting. Thank you, Andreas. Thank you. Okay, thank you everybody, and we look forward to seeing you at the next virtual session, when that may be. We need to find some hot topics and bring them to you. But thank you very much for your support. Thanks, Leon. Take care, everybody.
Bye.